Alrighty, so to start things off, the teams we have here are Nubarak, Butcher, Illidan, Vala, Ariel versus, Stitches, Uther, Sonya, Tassadar, Tracer. Tiger's going to be running the Tracer in this game. Overall, just from a brief glance at the comps, I really like Red Team's comp a lot more, I think. They have a really solid solo laner, good pickoff potential with Stitches, Uther, like good CC between those two, and huge damage output with Tracer, Tassadar. Yeah, on the other side, the blue team has a lot of damage and some decent CC between a Nubarak and Butcher, but other than that, they don't have much. They have a whole lot of damage, and that's pretty much it. The Ariel is decent at sustaining, but can't sustain a ton in huge team fights. Uther Tassadar will give Tracer a lot more room to just roam around and do whatever she wants, and if Uther goes D-Shield, then Sonya can kind of do whatever she wants as well. So overall, I would say I like Red Team's draft a little bit better. That being said, Illidan hunt rotations can be pretty good on this map. And if Butcher gets stacked pretty early, he's always a terror, so take that with what you will. Let's wait for everybody to pick their level 1 talents, and then we'll go ahead and look at those. We'll stop at each tier this time and analyze all the talents for everybody just to make it a little bit more clear what I'm thinking through everybody's talents as it goes on.
5, 4,
okay. Pretty standard though. Illidan's heading straight to top lane. Everybody else is kind of esports in that mid lane. Gotta do what you gotta do. Tassadar spots him out. Alright. Go ahead and pause this after that initial, before he dives in. Level 1 talents. Nerubian armor. They don't have a whole lot of spell damage on this team, so I don't know how much I like Nerubian armor here. But it's okay against Sonya. Lowers the damage of Whirlwind a little bit. Overall, though, a Nubarak's not a great tank against this team just because it's heavily physical focused. But, oh well. Invigoration on Butcher. If hamstring hits the hero, half the mana cost refunded. This is kind of a skirmishy, team fighty kind of build. Level 1 from Butcher. I much prefer Chop Meat personally. Gives him wave clear outside of just auto attacking. It lets him stack a little bit faster and a little bit safer because he can chop the wave, clear it out pretty quick, and then head out, do his rotations, do whatever he needs to do. Gets him in and out of lanes a lot faster. Illidan goes Unending Hatred, which I very much do not like. This talent takes so much longer to come online than the other two, Immolation and Battered Assault at 1. It just takes forever to outdo either of those in damage, that I'm not a huge fan of this talent at 1 for him. So yeah, I would prefer either of the other two here. And Immolation if he's going to be trying to take camps and split push a little bit more, or Burning Hatred? No. Can't remember the name now. Oh well, we'll get it. Battered Assault, there we go. Battered Assault if he wants to be doing more of a team fighty kind of fight. That being said, Illidan Vala goes Hot Pursuit, pretty standard. She can kind of go auto attack build or W build, do whatever she wants. I wouldn't have liked the Q build here against this front line, so I believe Hot Pursuit's the better choice at 1 for her as well. She goes the increasing damage on sweep. I much prefer either the cast speed or the cooldown reduction on sweep at 1 for Ariel, but that is my 2 cents on her. I don't play a ton of supports. I mean, in Hero League I end up getting forced onto it, but I really like the cooldown reduction on sweep just because it lets you have some good playmaking potential post 13. Stitches going standard slam build, everything makes sense. Uther going Wave of Light, again pretty standard, nothing fancy there. Warpaint, Templar's Will, and Pulse Strike, all the red team's talents are pretty standard. Wave of Light is the best one here, in my opinion. They have a lot of frontline with Illidan, Butcher, Nubarak, so you're going to get pretty good value out of it in fights. And Holy Shock would not have been a great build here, so I like that. Warpaint is good on Sonya. It lets her solo a little bit easier. Lets her take camp a little bit easier. Gives her just more sustain overall, so it works out better for her. Templar's Will just got nerfed. I kind of like the Psystorm at level 1, honestly, for Tassadar now. But Templar's Will is not bad. It gives you pretty good slow potential, like pretty good range slow with just him beaming people. That I think it's still worth it to go, but personally I prefer the Psystorm at 1. And then Pulse Strike, I would say is the best talent at 1 for Tracer. It's just 20% off of 1 melee off a hero for your Pulse Bomb is pretty huge. It lets you get that back up very consistently. So we're going to go ahead and watch in. Anubarak is diving up. Illidan's kind of hesitant to go in though. Butcher chooses the wrong jump target in my opinion. They have no CC for Sonya outside of Anubarak and Butcher, so that's pretty huge to look out for. It was a good dodge by Tiger on the Tracer. Almost got caught out by the Anubarak. But now they're just going to go back, do their thing. Thought Illidan was heading top. He's going to chase us down a little bit. You're here, dude? Awesome. Thought Illidan was going to go top because of how he's positioning at the start, but looks like he is not going to be. This map is ideally a 1-4 situation where you have one person soloing top, which would be the Sonya on red team's side, and then the 4 others rotating between mid and bottom, maybe potentially leaving one person bottom to poke off on the shrine, but that's a little bit more. Then you can rotate the other 3 around as you want, but they're going to leave Tassadar mid lane, let him do his thing, stack up. They're sending a lot of heroes top on the blue side. They really want to get this Sonya and get Butcher stacked up pretty early. So this is a sensible gank. I don't think they're actually going to be able to kill Sonya though. She's a little bit too beefy for them to handle. You've been here since the last video? Okay, that's fine. Tracer going deep, doing a little bit of damage. Needs to get out of there though. That's a lot of damage coming his way. He ends up going down. He got a little bit overzealous there. They hooked Ariel. He probably should have just tried to kill the Ariel on the back. But Ariel's going to go down anyway. Just to pass at our beam. And a little bit of hook help. They had to overextend a bit for it though, so they're going to get punished for that. They're losing value. They're not getting any of the XP bottom. Neither team is. Taz is so greedy. Yeah, he got a little bit hungry there. He wanted that. He should be trying to mostly focus on supporting the Tracer in this fight, or in this situation, I think. So it's kind of, that's also why I don't like Templar's Will as much. It's because you don't want to be spending auto or shields on yourself. You want to be giving all of them to Tracer if possible. Illidan's getting that bottom lane soaked for blue team. Red team still is not down there. Tiger going in aggressive just to stop any shrine capture from the Illidan. It's a good choice on his part. Sonya quickly realizing she cannot brawl this Butcher 1v1 when he has W up, but not much you can do about it for now. He's just got a Sippy up and doesn't have Sippy. Okay, he's gonna be kind of rough then. Butcher is out for blood and is probably gonna get it up here. Ooh, just barely doesn't get that. Meanwhile, in bottom lane, action happening. Tiger with the chase down should be able to get that Illidan. Looks like some good CC out of Uther and Stitches, like we thought. Gonna give him really good. You did go 2-ham though? Yeah, that's okay. Everybody goes a little bit 2-ham on Tracer sometimes, which is kind of natural. That was a very optimistic hook from Stitches. I don't like leaving Ariel in a solo lane, personally, but that's part of their team comp problem, is Butcher's a pretty good solo. Ariel is very much not. Illidan's okay at soloing. So they're leaving Ariel versus Tassadar mid lane, which gives him kind of free stacks. He's up to 33 already. He's already done with half of his thing, so that's pretty big. Let's go ahead and go over to level 4 talents as well. Level 4 on Anubarak, Exoskeleton grants, or Carapace grants move speed. I'm not the biggest fan of this either. Maybe a little let him get in and out of fights slightly better, but I like the Bed of Spikes, I believe it is called. It's the talent on Q that lets you leave a little trail that slows people and does damage over time. And now I'm looking like a noob because I don't know Anubarak talents. Yeah, Bed of Barbs. There we go. Close enough. Butcher has 16 stacks on his quest, so that's a little bit over 2 waves. He's trying to posture up here just to make sure that Sonya doesn't come back, but in doing so, he's losing some of the stacks off at this top lane. And he goes Flail Axe at 4, increase the length of hamstring. That's pretty good talent. Again, I like it more with Chop Meat, lets you hit the whole wave and maybe a hero behind it as well. Illidan goes move speed on dive, which I don't agree with. Again, I don't like his talents very much. Level 4, he has Friend or Foe, which lets him dive to friendlies. It helps his escape a lot in team fights. Or the Unbound, I believe it is called. The quest for W that lets it go over terrain and gives you a second charge of W if you hit enough of them. which gives him a lot more mobility in team fights and can jump over walls, obviously, and like clear camps pretty easily. Bala's going full auto attack build, which is pretty good against the Stitches and Sonya, but I might have liked to see her go W build. Excuse me. Just because they have a lot of frontline. They have 3 people who are going to be in melee range for the most part. You would have gotten a lot of resets off of the Arsenal at 7 for Vala. Auto attack build will melt Stitches late game, but I don't think it'll do enough against Tracer. Personally. Ariel going for the Radius on sweep, just to get more stacks on her damage and a little bit more damage in team fights, which makes kind of sense. Stitches still going for the standard slam build. I think that's his best build right now. I don't see any reason not to do it. 1, 4, 7, and 13, and then 16 I can change up with the hook, but pretty much everything, just pick your W build, do your thing. Uther goes Holy Fire, which is pretty good. It gives him a little bit more wave clear, it gives him a little bit more damage in team fights, especially because they're all melee. He's going to be around them, getting some decent value out of this Holy Fire. Sonya going Focused Attack again. It's a good follow-up to War Paint. It lets her duel a little bit better with Butcher. She still can't straight man fight him, but she can do some pretty good, have some pretty good trades if Butcher's W is down. Kala's Embrace is the best choice here at 4 for Tassadar with a Tracer. You want to use that and just let the Tracer do whatever she wants, pretty much. Is your entire goal as Tassadar in this matchup. Is you're just there to spam shields, enable her, do what you want. Vala with AA build with Ariel. That's actually not bad. It's not as bad as people think it is. With the new Ariel changes, she can be completely kept up on energy, even with auto attack Vala. She could before as well, but you had to be a really good Vala. So she can still maintain all of her energy with auto attack Vala. Especially if at 16, it goes up pretty high in damage with the Manticore and the attack speed buff from Ariel. So it's not bad, actually. I know a common consensus is like, oh, you have an Ariel, go W build, but auto attack build can keep her up on energy pretty well too, so I don't mind that build as much. Tracer went Parting Gift at 4, that's not a bad one. If you're feeling frisky, which I probably would have been in this comp, but you have 2 supports, 2 tanks, go Untouchable at 4. But you have to be really confident in your play. It's very ballsy, but it is a whole lot of damage if you can get it stacked. I understand completely not going for it, but it is my personal preference on 4. Parting Gift is pretty good though, lets you do a little bit more damage after you pulse bomb and teleport out. So we're gonna get back into the game. Again, watch this Ariel just struggle. If you're confident in your play, Kappa, that's, you know, then show it. No, it's okay. Just trying to get some poke down at bottom. Anubarak's going to completely wall them off right here. He is in the right spot to block both of them off while getting good value, getting her auto attack quest stacked up pretty hard. But in comes the Tracer, gets that assassinate, and they don't kill Uther. That was unfortunate. If he would have stayed in there, he might have been able to just body block him out enough. Tiger chasing him down, doing a little bit more damage on the out. Tassadar... Where'd Tassadar go? Oh, Tassadar went bottom. Okay, sorry, I was blind. Sonya died to the Illidan gank top. Tassadar went bottom to help. Ariel still sitting mid, struggling to clear waves, as you do as Ariel. Sonya had a rough time against that gank. Illidan's just gonna, or Butcher's just trying to try and focus her down. They're gonna rotate Butcher down now. Get some good value. Ooh, that was a really good hook. They are going to be able to take that Ariel down. Butcher coming really deep is probably going to be punished for this if they rotate down in time. Tassadar is in a sticky wicket, but shouldn't die to that. And then Tiger can just come in and dance around while doing some damage. Ideally, they want to kill this Butcher before he gets too stacked. Try and keep him down as much as they can. But Sonya beats Illidan top. She doesn't beat the Butcher, so rotating Illidan in and Butcher out is kind of a win for Sonya. It means she can actually control his shrine a little bit. She can just kind of ignore Illidan if she's spinning, so... Not the greatest choice on blue team's part. They probably should have left the Butcher up there, but they wanted to get value and get stacks on him, I think. Stitch is in a lot of trouble here. It gets ganked in the Illidan rotation. That was a pretty good rotation on Illidan's part. Knew he couldn't kill Sonya, so just did what he could. Tracer coming in, stolen down the pulse bomb. Canceling Butcher's charge over and over again. Tiger goes in, has to go back out real quick. Like Sonya going in deep behind. She is not 1v4 though, because everybody else had to back up in Civvy. They have the shrines, so they have to leave to go top and get the shrine back. Tiger going pretty hard, a little bit deep, and recalls unfortunately directly back into their face. But they get the Dragon Knight for it, so let's go with calculated on Tiger's part. Ariel gets hooked yet again in mid lane. Gonna be going down from that. That was the sickest recall. That was rough. Ooh, we didn't go down. I guess they just don't have much damage without Tracer, so that kind of makes sense. We're gonna check the 7 talents out. Illidan's just trying to get some soak down bottom while they defend mid. Level 7, we have the shield on Anubarak. I like that one the best at 7, I believe, for him. Let me double check what he else. Yeah, I like that one the best at 7 for Anubarak there. Insatiable Blade gives him move speed when he's facing a branded enemy, which is W. Which is pretty good. It lets him chase down Sonya a little bit better than before. I like that talent at 7. He's still at 29 stacks. He died bottom. He lost a lot of stacks. He is not stacking very well right now, so this is a really good thing for red team. Thirsting Blade on Illidan makes sense while Sweeping Strike's active if you went for an auto attack quest at 1. That makes sense at 7. Vala going for full damage build. Going Arsenal at 7 to get the multi-shot resets as well. Personally, I like Death Dealer a little bit more, just for the pure burst. But, you know, it's not the end of the world. Arsenal's pretty good. It gives you some more consistent damage with multi-shot. And again, like, she's gonna get pretty good value out of the multi-shot with the 3 melees on their team. So it's not bad. Energized Chord with Ariel. That makes sense. It lets her just solo self-sustain on her energy a little bit better. The other option is Empathic Link, which could be okay here if she threw it on Anubarak, but he's not going to do much damage himself. Could have been okay on Butcher or Illidan as well. But Energized Chord is pretty safe. It lets her just auto-attack safely and get some good energy. Stitch is going Vial Gas. That's what you do in the Slam build. Makes sense. Cleanse on Uther is pretty good against Butcher and Anubarak. Again, they only have a little bit of CC, so Cleanse is pretty good value because it means that they can't stop. Like, they can't just re-CC him after the Cleanse pops because they've already used it. They don't have much to work with, so Cleanse is pretty huge here. Poison Spear on Sonya, again, pretty good for dueling. It's pretty standard on her. Sonic Projection is pretty standard on Tassadar. It gives him the range on his abilities, so it lets him be a little bit safer while applying shields to the Tracer. Also at 7, Tassadar has the slow on enemies affected in Psystorm if you're auto-attacking them, which is pretty big for team fights. It lets you get some really good slow pressure on, but I think here I like the Psionic Projection just so he can stay safe from Butcher, not worry too much about that. Resonation, you think that is? Yes, Resonation is the name of that. Or Mental Acuity if you want to go for like some damage, but later on, but I don't really like that in this comp. So Psionic Projection I think is the best one for him. Hero Takedowns grant 2 charges of Blink. This is a very ballsy level 7 after a very not ballsy level 4. So personally, I like the extra Blink charge a little bit better than the 2 charges of Blink on Refund when you get a takedown, just because you have to rely on takedowns to get Blink after, and by that point you're already in pretty deep, so I don't know if the Blink charges are going to help you get out. I like the extra charge just so you have a little bit more room to work with however you're working. It gives you just more flexibility overall. Personally, I go for the extra Blink charge there. So let's get back into the game. Dragon Knight pushing mid down. It is the first Dragon Knight. It doesn't do a ton of damage. Ideally, the best value you can get out of this is taking a couple fort walls down. They already got bottom, so they might rotate top after this, get that fort wall as well. But Illidan is just getting his push on, trying to get them caught up on XP a little bit. Not a bad call. Anubarak diving hard, though. This is not going to be a great fight for them. Illidan's rotating up. Tiger might end up getting caught out, actually. Doesn't waste his recall, which is pretty good if you can live without having to use recall. Gets healed back up, and they're just going to poke again. They're kind of doing nothing, standing here, walking in circles with the Dragon Knight. I would like to see them switch lanes and try and push maybe another fort wall or something. Gets the good pick on Zavala. It was a really good pulse bomb. Ended up getting that done, finishing the Zavala kill off. Illidan wants to take this camp, but can't really realistically do that, so we just kind of go back to pushing bottom lane. Sonya splitting back up to top lane. It's a pretty big wave for her to clear. Illidan quickly realizes that he will die if he does that. This is a good invade. This is a really good invade on red team's part. They're level 10 and the enemy team is not, so they have a giant advantage here. I don't like our combo. We'll go over that in a minute. They have a really huge advantage here, so force fights, take the camp, say, you know, we're here. If you want to fight us, you feel free. You're down the talent tier, so this is absolutely the best call here. I'm going to turn on my light really quick. It's getting a little bit dark. I'll be back in just a second. Okay, sorry about that. Guys, it was starting to get a little bit dark out. Yeah, we should probably have some visibility. So yeah, this is a really good play. I really, really like the call there to take the camp. Exactly how you feel about the lighting in my room? Yeah. So Illidan can't do anything about this. He just gotta sit there and watch. They're gonna clear it before it gets any damage done, but that is a deny. It's, hey, you guys can't take this. Hi, Buddha, how are you doing, man? How are you? Just doing some replay analysis. Knocked over the Red Bull on the way up? Yeah, buddy, you know how it is. Taking the bottom camp as well. Again, they're still not 10, so this is just do what you want. Force the enemy team to take fights if they want to take them. They're putting 3 people onto this camp just to clear it before anything else happens. And yeah. They're going to get a little bit of push bottom. Gets the Vala hook. Unfortunately, stuns as the Gorge goes off, but they should be able to kill him anyway. They do have enough damage. Tassadar. There we go. We'll get him eventually. Replay analysis, you actually strats me, Nike. Absolutely. That's what they're here for. Sonya got ganked up again at top, but got out safely. Not too bad. They're going to push down bottom with this camp. We're going to go ahead and pause. Look at level 10s for everybody. Cocoon is a good choice here. Lamb, good choice. Hunt, Rain, Crystal. I like all of the choices on blue team for their ults. It's all pretty standard. Hunt lets Illidan do some split pressure. Lamb is just better than Furnace Blast in most ways. Cocoon is pretty big. It's a pretty big counter to Gorge as well. If you Gorge, just Cocoon them and the person pops out. Just put them in kind of a rough space still, but it's okay. Aegis, Rain, I like all this. If you want to auto attack, you want to be auto attacking as much as possible, so Rain over Strafe is good, so you can sit there and continue to auto attack. Gorge on stages I kind of like. It lets you get combos. You have some pretty good follow-up CC and good burst as well, so I like that choice from him. Bio wouldn't have done a whole lot against this team. Actually, it could have gotten some good work done against the triple melee, but Gorge is good as well. I like it anyway. Divine Shield, like I was saying earlier, lets Sonya or Tracer, whoever really needs it, to do kind of whatever the hell they want. Just run at people. Nothing they can do about it with D-Shield on. Sonya goes Leap, which is pretty good to get to the Ariel. I might have preferred her going Wrath and just dealing with the front line, so Tracer can do what she wants in the back line, but Leap is not a bad choice. It lets her... I think that's how she got out at top, actually. She probably left away. That's why it's on cooldown. That makes a lot of sense. But yeah, Leap's not bad. So I don't mind the Leap, but Wrath could have also got some good work done. Both of her ults were good in this situation. Quantum Spike, additional 10%. I personally prefer the extra range and the increased charge time on it off of hitting heroes. Just to get more pulse bombs up, just try to spam them out as much as you can. So this one's good though for bursting down high HP heroes. They don't have a ton of high HP heroes in the blue team though, so I'm not sure I agree with this one as much. Archon though, I really do not agree with. He went for like full supporty 7 and 4 and like a little bit of damage there, but that's not really great. Archon is okay for team fights and slows, but this map has so many choke points for Force Wall. You can choke here, you can choke there, you can choke this, you can choke most of that off. You can choke any of the shrines off, you can choke up here, like all the walls. This is such a good Force Wall map that I can't agree with Archon here. Personally, I would have much preferred to see him go Force Wall, and especially with the Gorge combo, they can, you know, hook Gorge and then force wall behind so they can't chase, something like that. So much clicking? Yeah, sorry, you know. Gotta do what I can. Illidan dives in deep. Not gonna get a ton done either way though, just because Tracer's not with them. They don't have a ton of damage outside of Tracer. Sonya and Butcher trading up top. I would like to see them actually try and rotate and kill Butcher again. He's only at 56 stacks, so he's really not doing well on stacks. Try to keep him down as much as you can. Sonya goes deep for it though, and is gonna pay with the Lamb. Ends up going down. Tiger on the rotate up, but couldn't get there in time. Is gonna try and fight this Butcher. A little scary, but Lamb is down, so he's not in too much trouble. That was a good recall to stop the charge. But again, needs to be a little bit careful up here. Gets good value off the Quantum Spike in the 1v1 though, so, you know, can't complain too much. Meanwhile, at bottom, they're forcing some fights. 3v1, so that's a good thing to do. They took the camp, forced down as 3. You know they're going to rotate top right now to try and kill that Sonya. So, that's not a bad choice. Vala Ariel are way overextended right here. Butcher going in deep onto the Stitches, who is not a really good target for him. Illidan is super low. He's gonna get sent up by Uther and finished off with a leap. Didn't have any more blinks? Yeah, that's fine. Tracer may have been able to get the kill, but A, he didn't have blinks, and B, evasion might have been up pretty soon, so it would have been a scary situation there. I don't know that I would have gone for it as Tracer either. And also, he didn't know where Butcher was. Butcher could have charged him again because his recall was down. It was a spooky run for Tracer, and that's number 2. Vala Ariel had to clear that wave bottom. They're just trying to push in at mid. Try to get this real quick. I don't agree with Tracer taking it. I much prefer like a Sonya taking it, just because Tracer is their only real damage dealer. Tiger going in deep, but Butcher completely ignoring him sitting in that bush. He's gonna go down. Oh, no, he's not. The recall, but the hunt. Yeah, he went in a little bit too deep without knowing where anyone was and knowing that his Sonya was not there and his Stitches was not there, so that was kind of a rough fight. It gets cocooned out of the Gorge, so he's gonna go down too. That was kind of a string of rough choices. That was a good D-shield though, but he's still getting body blocked. Sonya going in with the leap to try and help him out. They are going to end up living except for Sonya. It was a good try on the hook, but didn't end up getting it. If they would have got somebody there, they might have been able to stun them up and finish it off. But Anubarak spawning beetles stops these keeps from, these forts from hitting any heroes. 4-man leap, not bad. Yeah, the 4-man leap was pretty good, but it just served to save the Stitch, and he ended up going down, unfortunately. Butcher posturing, looking for another kill. He's getting some good stacks now. He was only at 50 before that fight. 55 or something, so he went up a lot for those couple kills. Everybody picked their 13s. Nope, I'm waiting for a new rack. Vala going in deep in the 1v1, he thinks. He's going to end up going down. That was an unnecessarily aggressive play. He had 3 people top lane and Butcher sitting mid, and no enemies showing from the enemy team, so going in 1v1, even if he got the kill on Tracer, would not have been worth it at all. Let's go over 13s. Anubarak goes, casting his W will give him damage onto nearby heroes. Doubles damage on heroes. Can't use it for wave clear anymore. At 13, he also has Burning Rage or Acid Drenched Mandibles. I would have preferred Burning Rage here, probably. Because again, they have Sonya and Stitches and Uther. You get some good value out of it. That one's not bad, though. The Urticating Spines. Butcher goes Brutal Strike. After using Hamstring, his next 3 attacks deal more damage. Also, here is Cleave, I believe. But this one is not bad. It's good for bursting single heroes down. I personally would probably prefer the AoE Cleave, but you know. Nimble Defender gives him armor if he hits a hero, which is pretty good for team fights, but the rest of his build is not super about team fights, so I don't know that I would have changed a couple things earlier on in this build, but I like Nimble Defender at 13 for him. Vala goes healing on auto attacks. It's good. It lets Ariel not have to heal you all the time. It lets her kind of focus other people every once in a while. So I like Tempered by Discipline here. Excuse me. And the blind on Ariel is pretty good. It's, you know, just good blind if she hits Tracer with it, if she manages to. I would prefer the cast speed here if you're trying to hit Tracer with a blind, though. But it's pretty good. If you can get a blind off on Tracer or Sonya when she's auto-attacking and out of Whirlwind, then that's pretty good value. Stitches, again, going slammed, makes sense. Blessed Champion on Uther is good for their comp. After using his Q, his attacks heal him and nearby allies. So, because he's going to be in the front line with Holy Fire and with Sonya and Stitches, he can just heal one of them and then have some more consistent healing throughout the team fight on 13 with his team. With his very frontline heavy team. So I like that challenge at 13. Increases the damage or the healing on Whirlwind for Sonya. Again, good for trying to stay in fights and force the fight. Nullification on Tassadar is okay here, but they have a lot of targets for it, is the biggest problem for Tassadar in this one. There's not a whole lot, like, he can go on Butcher, sure, but then Illidan and Vala can melt somebody as well. So Nullification might not have been the best choice here. Might have preferred Deep Shift to get himself out a little bit better, just so he can, you know, get out very safely and make sure Tracer stays alive with shields. But Nullification's never bad. Lowering one of their carries' damage by 75% is always good. Bullet Spray, which we saw a couple of times, is really good on Tracer for 13. Double check what else she has at 13, just because I forget. I usually go Bullet Spray as well, but there is one more, I believe. Oh, sorry. I lied. I don't go Bullet Spray anymore. I used to go Bullet Spray a lot. Now I go Ricochet at 13, generally. It gives you... half of your clip will ricochet to a nearby enemy for the most part. It's 50% chance, so on average, half your clip. And that gives you just a little bit more AoE damage in team fights, so you're not completely single target. Although Bullet Spray also does Ricochet's butt, though. Alright, Juice, we'll have some words. This also gives a little bit of AoE damage, but I like Ricochet personally. The healing, leeching rounds is also okay if you want your healers to be able to focus other people. It's kind of a similar effect to this one, where you just don't have to have your healer always healing you. Like, they can lay off it a little bit if they want to, but I personally prefer Ricochet there. Alright, maybe back into this. They didn't cap this shrine, which is... okay, he's going back for it. I was going to say, you probably want to cap this just in case you can get top. Hi Bruce, how you doing? Thought you'd rely on the color shoot? That's fine. It's honestly fine to not go the leashing rounds. I would prefer Ricochet then, though, because it also gives you more healing off the color shields. Butcher goes down off the Gorge. Cocoon is a little bit too late to save him. Tassadar was already up there. They can force this camp again. They were starting it. They can go back straight to it after taking this mid fort if they wanted, which is probably the right choice for them, I would think. Anubarak going in real deep. It's a very ill-advised push. They would have got... ooh! They ended up getting it. That was good. Illidan also going in deep 1v5. They were down a hero. They should have just given that fort up and tried to get a camp or something maybe, but instead they lost 2 more heroes, staggered their deaths, and lost the fort anyway. At that point, just give your fort up. You're down a hero. Deal with it. Push out lanes. Do what you can. They're going to get your camps now as well. They're up 16 to 14. That's pretty big. They're going to hit 15 right now, but they can force this objective and then maybe take a keep off of 16 to 14. Winter isn't in this game? No. This is... we're watching replays from Tiger, who is the Tracer in this game. Vala checks the wrong bush. Ends up going down real quick. That was a very ballsy rotation. They're just gonna push this down a little bit, but they didn't finish that camp off, unfortunately. Butcher diving in deep in the back line. They don't have a Stitches here, though, so this fight is even for them. But as soon as Butcher goes down, it's gonna be real hard for them to do anything. Ariel goes down to follow. Gorge happens over here in the back line. They do get the Anubarak as well, and they will clean up the Illidan. So that's a full 5-man wipe for nothing. That was a really good trade on their part. They probably just want to ideally grab the Dragon Knight on the back of this, so they can push down a couple of keeps maybe with the Dragon Knight. It's still fairly early, only 13 minutes, so the Dragon Knight isn't going to do a ton, and the death timers are pretty short, so their decision to just go straight for the keep isn't bad. It's not a bad choice. It works out just fine for them as well. I'm going to wait till 16 on the enemy team to analyze those talents, so they're going to get that keep and back out. They do get a good hook off on Ariel. She's going to blow up instantly. That was a really good hit by Stitches. They're going to get the Vala on the back as well, and then probably come back and kill this Illidan who dove way too deep as well. So this is just the enemy team, the blue team over here. One person died, and then they're just going to chain feed over and over, unfortunately. They need to just cut their losses, let the Ariel die. Red team wants blood, though. They're going in deep with the lead. Deep with the lead, boys. They can finish this off. They probably are just going to end it here, unlike the last game. Butcher goes down, diving 1v5. Anubrek's going to go down, diving 1v5. And that's going to be it. That is all she wrote, boys. Red team, with the customary B steps, finishing this game up in a pretty quick fashion, only 14 minutes. This is Team League from Tiger. Alrighty, that one's done. That was pretty good play on both parts. A couple of build choices I didn't like from both teams, but for the most part, that was pretty well played on both sides. They didn't get Butcher stacked out, which was a big problem for the red team. Blue team. Sorry, they didn't get Butcher stacked up, and they didn't do it. Team wanted to stop hitting core and have us all be stuff around it. That's 2BM for me.